What's up, guys? It's Wallet the Robot here, and I'm going to go over how to win a mobile game. Now, there's three stages: your lane phase, your mid lane, or mid phase, not mid lane, but your mid phase, and then your late game, end game. Okay? The goal is to give yourself and your teammates the advantage in lane, take the first turret, go help your other lane and or jungler take an objective, such as turret, baron, overlord, dragon, those kinds of things, right? You're not trying to put yourself at disadvantages by inting, and what inting is intentionally feeding, where you're just running it down mid essentially. If you're playing League of Legends on the computer, basically playing ARAM with the turrets and only the turrets, and then just giving your enemies an advantage against your teammates, which is not good. As you can see here, I'm letting my roamer know I would like to go for their farmer. We win every time against them because I know the matchup, I know how it goes, I know how to play Consort U. But sometimes you're just going to have teammates that just don't trust you, understandably so, or they may have a different play style versus how you play. What's coming up is essentially how I play, how my roamer is super aggressive. Or not my roamer, the enemy roamer is super aggressive. 10 out of 10 times I want them as my duo because I'm super aggressive. And vice versa. My roamer with their ADC or farm, they would make a good combo. They're both very passive. Or not as aggressive, should I say. But yeah, basically, in this game, you want to give yourself the advantage. You want to take the first turret. You want to put as much pressure as you can to alleviate pressure in other lanes. A good way of doing that is called split pushing. That's when, if everyone's mid and there's like a 4v4 or 4v5, I highly suggest you just keep pushing that one side lane, because if they don't contest you, you're eventually going to make it to the Nexus or Crystal, and they're going to just lose the game. Yeah, some people might say, well, they push faster with 4v5, this, that, and the other, or 4v1. Split push power is going to be different. The 4 players are going to be stronger than the 1 player, but you also have to keep in mind, just because that's the case doesn't necessarily mean you will lose the game. A good example is, let's say your team won against a 4v5, okay? But the end result is now they have 3 players versus you. But those 3 are trying to push a turret. They're all low health. They have to wait for minions, but you're guiding your minions already through the bot lane, for example. And your minions are just stacking up faster and faster, or just stacking up more and more. Minions all move at the same speed, both sides. League of Legends still has that. I don't know if it still has that difference where the blue minions will get by faster than the red minions. But you're then having a massive minion farm in that one lane, which then you can leave that lane and then you can go contest the 2 or 3 remaining enemy players that are low health already, trying to outpush you. Well, you can do cleanup, and then when you do cleanup, your minions will most likely take another turret if an enemy hasn't spawned yet already, or cause enough damage to the turret to where it'll be easier to take down on your next push. So really, the end goal is to get to the Nexus and or Crystal. I mean, that's how you win your games. That's how you progress in ranked. It's not your KDA. Yes, your KDA helps. Getting early 10-1 and 0 KDA. I mean, at that point, you're essentially snowballing. You're in such a big lead. But it's what you do with that big lead that determines whether you're going to win a game or not. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say you're 10-0 and 1, right? And you have this huge lead. You just got your 3rd item built. You're ahead in CS by a lot. No one can contest you. But instead of taking turrets, helping your team progress, you're just going for fights. You're just trying to fight everything, anything, and everything. you're also mitigating your team's farm. So what I mean by that is, let's say right here I'm CSing and my 10-0-1 teammate is like, well, I'm going to take your CS. I want to get bigger. I want to get fatter. I want to get more fed. I need to snowball harder. Well, I'm just going to say this. In order for a snowball to be effective, you have to take objectives. If you're not taking objectives and you're only going for the CS and or farm, and you're only going for fights, you're not helping your team win the game. You're just essentially soft throwing at that point. And yes, it is a soft throw because all it takes is for one bad team fight. Because you have to understand, you are now in such a big lead. You're putting your teammates behind by taking their farm, their CS. You're thinking that you're the most important player, and you're taking every fight you can take. And yeah, you're winning until they get that one lucky stun on you, or they just CC chain you, or they just burst you down. You know, I can give a multitude of examples from my years of playing League of Legends, but in the end, all it takes is just that one team fight, right? And you can't 1v5, and because you took that 1v5 and the rest of your teammate is still behind, you just gave the enemy team a huge advantage. Like you just dropped gold, like you just dropped the bags of money, like a multi-million-dollar complex. Just you threw in someone's lap and said, hey, it's yours, do what you will with it. Well, I'll tell you what they're going to do with it. They're going to come smoke your teammates and then take your crystal, and then you just wasted all your time and energy and wasted everybody else's time, especially your teammates' time, because they're working their hardest trying to win, and you're over here just trying to, I guess, grief them at this point. But yeah, the end game is the crystal. It's not your KDA. It's not your perfect stats. Nobody cares about that. What they care about, do you win games? Yes or no? And do you help the team progress in lane? Yes or no? If both of those are no, don't play ranked. Just do us all a favor that are trying to progress in ranked. Don't play ranked, please. You can do that stuff in norms. Your win-loss ratio will not matter because you have a perfect KDA. I mean, I'm just saying, it's up to you on how you want to win a game, but winning games is not trying to fight everybody by yourself and putting your teammates behind. That is not how it's done. A good example would be what happens later in the game. My team fights mid. It turns into a 4v3. 3 of them go down. And I'm over in the Clash lane, or for League of Legends, I'm in the bot lane, and I'm split pushing. I'm making sure that I'm staying relevant, or my minions are staying relevant with my team push, so that way we can take the crystal faster. Okay. Here, I know we have an advantage, but I'm not fast enough to take or kill this guy. So I'm going to take farm, CS, and try to stay in the game as best I can. That's really all I can do at this point. I just have to keep CSing where I can CS and just going from there. Taking team fights where I can team fight and help with, and go from there. Like this one, I'm not really concerned about getting kills. I'm 2-3-3 right now, and I'm still causing problems for the team by creating pressure in other lanes. It's literally probably the main aspect of this game. The more pressure you have on a certain lane or on a certain player, the enemy's gonna have to react to it. And this is what I was talking about earlier. I'm behind, but if you take the CS, instead of leaving it to that one player and then just going for another farm, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Just let the player have the farm and just let them get in the game. If you put that other player that's behind even more behind because you want to take their CS, you think that they're irrelevant, you're really putting your whole team behind. Because that little bit of damage, I'm talking about like that 92 damage extra or 60 damage extra, could make the difference in taking that turret just that much faster, right? Or being that extra little hit that's needed to get the 2v1 win or the 1v2 win, however you want to look at it, or the 5v5 team fight. That little bit of extra damage matters. So try not to take your teammates' farm, especially in this game. This game is brutal when it comes to punishing someone that's fallen behind. It is brutal. But even if you do fall behind in this game, you can still apply pressure and alleviate some of that pressure on your teammates so that way they can push other lanes. As you can see right now, there's been a triple kill in mid lane. I saw the roamer go mid. I was like, oh, I'm probably need to follow just in case. And I'm like, man, I'll just go back to pushing bot lane. So now it's a 3v2 mid. They have a fourth on the way. I'm going to split bot like I'm doing now, or the clash lane. And I'm going to push this turret the best I can. I know my teammates are doing really well with team fighting. They're at the advantage. They have high pressure. And I'm going to keep the pressure on the side lane too, just in case they start going down. Because the faster I can get this turret down, and vice versa, the faster they get mid turret down, the more pressure we have with minions hitting their Nexus crystal. So they kind of split off. One went top, which is good. They're now splitting because we have enough pressure to where he won't be able to get contested. Both mid and clash and or bot turrets are down. They're wanting to contest top lane, which is not smart. So top lane took their turret, they came down, and this is where we just flat out win because the pressure became too great. We won the team fight. We have a huge advantage, and I'm only 3-3-5, 4-3-6. But again, it's not your KDA that matters. It's the crystal. It's the Nexus. If you're playing ranked, that should be your main goal. Not your KDA, not your perfect stats. The same applies to League of Legends and any other MOBA. If you want to progress in ranked, take the crystal, take the Nexus. This has been your boy Wally the Robot, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.